Welcome to Flesh and Pod, a flesh and blood podcast breaking down weekly news and notes from the tournament scene, community drama, game strategy, and more. And now, here are your hosts, Abby, Jordan, and Logan.
Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of Flesh and Pod. My name is Abby, and I am your host. With me, as always, are Logan and Jordan. So let's get into it. Logan, what did you do in Flesh and Blood this week?
There's really been 9 of these. I think this is 9.
I know. It feels like...
Feels like 2 to me. I mean, for you, it probably feels like an eternity. Anyway, Flesh and Blood this week, I played terribly. I didn't play terribly. Drafts were not great to me. I went 4-6 total. 1-3 in my Saturday event. 3-3 in the double draft in my Sunday event. I felt like I was much better in the 1-3 than I was in the 3-3. Mainly because Flesh and Blood is all about pivot turns.
Yeah.
And I whiffed on every one of my pivot turns. I either guessed wrong or I got pummeled a 5th time, or I got the 5th defense reaction.
Oh, yikes, yeah.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. And I was like, well, great. I guess I lose. That's fantastic. However, I did win one of the random First Ed Monarch boxes, and inside said First Ed Monarch box was Cold Foil Phantasmal Footsteps.
Oh, that's dollar bills.
I can just look at that and be happy, I guess.
It's a run good.
I mean, my pack open run goods continue. But yes, I just want to shout out Atlantis Hobby. We're on a good event in Mankato. I really enjoyed it. First Turn Games in Cedar Rapids here in Iowa ran an insanely good event with a lot of new players, and it still ran smoothly. Everything ran great. It was $20 for a double draft with prizes support on top of the Cold Foil Heroes. Like, you just can't ask for any more. Yeah, it was fantastic. I was insanely happy with that event, even though I played very poorly. And obviously, one of my car in their draft, while they were forcing Guardian, popped tectonic plating because reasons.
Oh, that's awesome too. Holy shit!
Might as well, I guess, right?
Yeah, might as well keep the good times rolling. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
What about you, Jordan?
I played 2 Welcome to Wraith farewell events. The one on Friday, I went a cool 0-3 at. I drafted Katsu. My deck was good. I'm an idiot.
These things happen.
Yeah. And that was the event where they wanted to accommodate more players because that store has like 25 to 30 for F&M or for armory events. Jesus. So yeah, it's a really poppin' scene there. We have some of the representatives from the store and like our Discord and stuff, and like they do a good job of like growing the community and stuff. So they had 30 for the Welcome to Wraith event, and basically they did
what store is that?
Beyond the Board in Dublin. There's a Pro Tour there that you might be going to. Yeah.
Okay.
So they did 30. They had 30 people. There were 4 pods, and then the top 2 from each pod went to like a cut to top 8, and then the top 8 like drafted. And then they still gave promos out to top 16, so that was cool. A bunch of people that wouldn't have got to draft. Like that was fun. Saturday went to a store called Epic Loot out in the Dayton area. They had 16, and I went 4-1-1. That felt good. 1-1-1 to my first pod with what did I play? I played Dorinthia. The draw was to like a newer player, just kind of like learning the steps, which is okay. That's what that event's for, or whatever. The loss was because I had a fundamental mind blank on like what Dory's ability does. I could have killed my opponent, and my opponent like blocks out. Like I attack for like 6 with Go Again on my Dory Blade, and he blocks for like 12. Now I could have pumped to like enough to hit and give and like trigger Dory's ability, right? For those of you that don't know, to attack with Dory's sword more than once, you have to actually make contact. But I thought, oh well, I'll just swing again and like definitely kill him now because he doesn't have any cards in his hand. And so I said, yeah, I'm gonna close the chain link and attack you again. Or I'm gonna close the chain and attack you again. And he was like, how?
Not exactly.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
I was like, oh, yikes. Okay. Right. And we were both like playing competently, so I wasn't like ever going to ask for like the rewind, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was just kind of like whatever. Then I 3-0'd with Bravo because just sometimes just hit them with a hammer a bunch and then they die. And that was the source of my big like anger this weekend. Not anger, I guess, because like I wasn't like mad, but I went 4-1-1, and this place had prize support down to top 5 in addition to the heroes. Or down to top 4 in addition to the heroes. And I came in 5th behind 2 people that went 4-2 because of tiebreakers.
Welcome to draws being awful. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, listen, I know that draws are worth 0 points for like a calculated reason, but they should be weighted heavier than like in tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. And I'm only saying this because it negatively impacted me, and I'm definitely salty about it. But like, man,
we've talked about that before, though, right?
Oh, we definitely have. When you draw in good faith because like your game just takes a long time, you should not be punished. Like now, so I call a buddy that's Morgan from the Columbus Magic Scene.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Morgan Carl. Yep.
Yeah. He just bought a bunch of Welcome to Wraith boxes, and because he wants to just check it out. And I call him to like ask how that was going, and I kind of did it. I intentionally called him to give the bad beat story under the guise of asking how he's doing because I'm human scum. Like, oh yeah, how was that box you opened? Oh, great. By the way, let me tell you this story. Gotcha. You know,
somehow you have my phone number, and I'm very happy that you don't call me sometimes.
Well, I assumed you'd be in an event.
I wish you didn't call me.
What?
Oh, that's fair.
That's uncomfortable.
I forgot one thing though. One of the coolest things. Go ahead, Jordan. I'm fucking everything up now.
No, it's okay. And I was telling him, and
wait your turn.
He had a really good solution actually. Of if they don't want to have draws, and they want to like penalize the idea of IDing, games should just not be able to end in a draw. Where hey, time expires, you both took your turn. We now have a series of tiebreakers that just happen automatically. First being who has the highest life total. Okay, who has like the most cards in their deck left. I don't know what these criteria would be, whatever. But the very last one is, all right, we're just going to high roll now. And if you want to disincentivize people from drawing or playing slowly, that's the way to do it, is to remove the idea that you can draw. Because like punishing in the scenario in my game, punishing me for like playing quickly and just having a new player to the same degree as like I might as well have lost feels so bad. Because I might as well have not have lost, right? Like 2 more turns I win the game, it just didn't get the 2 more turns. So
right, you would have benefited from losing.
Right, yeah. So like losing, maybe I play weaker opponents and get to roll a little bit longer or whatever, you know. So it feels
it's not
weird.
That's one thing I got to actually step on you for. Is it's that the way that the thing is calculated is opponent match win percentage.
Oh yeah, first tiebreaker
is higher value, and so when you lose, your opponent match win percentage goes up.
Sure.
When you draw, it doesn't.
Sure.
Losing is better than drawing.
Yeah, because their match win percentage actually goes down because their denominator increases, but their numerator didn't. Sure. Sure. So yeah, I like. It's better for me to have just
taken lethal damage.
Yeah,
just taken lethal damage.
Yeah, like you're
conceding is against the rules.
Yeah, that's a great point, because we were playing the Dory mirror. Not to belabor this bad beat story, but we were playing the Dory mirror, and he doesn't. I have a steel blade shut in my hand. We're both at 1, and he's the final turn, and he doesn't attack with his sword. He attacks with just like some weird attack thing in his hand. And I was like, so I block with not steel blade shot, and he goes, all right, that's all I can do. Wait, oh man, I really should attack with my sword. And I was like, oh, we can go back. We can do take backs. That's totally cool. Do you want to do a take back? Go ahead and do a take back. And he was like, nah, that wouldn't be fair to you. I'm like, no, dude, this would be the fairest to me. And, I mean, he was very kind. We had a good time. But it was just funny that like never in my life would I add, like, it was very much the lady doth protest too much, you know. But we had a good time. So that was my only gripe. But anyway, I didn't mean to belabor my bad beat story. I had fun. I got a foil Katsu out of that one. Great weekend. Loved the events. I don't know why I focused on the negative. That's just a reflection of who I am.
These cold foils look insane too.
They're great.
Like Bravo looks as Gastoni as you can possibly look.
Yeah.
With his cold foil, that like it is a shimmery red Magic Mike vest all of a sudden, and it's beautiful. I'm like, man, I would oil that dude up.
Oh,
but I also wanted to. I was wearing Flesh and Pod gear because we have gear for us, and I got 4. Holy shit, you're fap. Over the weekend.
Okay.
I'm like,
guys, we talked about saying it like that.
One was somebody that I actually know from the Magic days that was like, oh wait, I was just listening to your podcast on the drive here, and I just connected the dot that it's you.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Oh boy. Okay. Well then.
Someone recognizing you by your voice is uncomfortable the first time. Like I had a guy come up and go like, oh, hey, I just want to introduce myself. I'm so-and-so from your Discord. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. It happened more than once. So like, I'm not like forgetting, like I know the names, but I don't want to be weird about it. And they're like, yeah, I just recognize your voice. And I was like, oh my God. It was just cool, but also like unsettling because it was like, oh yeah, God.
Cheers.
Yeah. Gosh. It was cool. It was fun to talk to people and all that. But
I did get confirmed to me that Abby is the most popular member of the show by like leaps and bounds though. So
Was there ever any guess?
No, we knew.
somebody in our Discord said that shit. Isn't that absurd?
We deserve it.
No. Why would that be absurd?
That's absurd.
I don't know. You told me not to call you a minute ago. We own a house together.
Well,
Well,
I mean, it's a little awkward, but I'm sure you have multiple rooms. You can make it work.
all right. That was the longest intro ever. So let's move it along.
What'd you do?
Well, what did
Flush
you
and
do,
Blood?
Abby?
Yeah.
So I was supposed to play in an event on Sunday. We got to the event early, to eat, and then so we could like play a little bit beforehand. Then I started feeling very ill. So being a responsible adult, I went home. I don't have COVID though, so
I'm happy
good
about
for that.
Yeah.
Definitely disappointing though.
It was like really scary for a second because like she was like sick out of nowhere, and then we were like,
yeah.
oh, we
It was
should probably
awful.
bounce.
I mean, Jordan was playing a game with one of our friends, and we were just sitting in the like convention center where we were at, and out of nowhere I was just like freezing. And I like the whole time they were playing, I was like rocking and trying to like, keep my hands warm and just like anything to warm, and I just could not get warm.
And I wanted to help her, but she said not to call her, so she sat there and suffered.
That's right.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
but bad
Taste
beats. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it. News and notes. So the SCG Con in Indy is going to be a calling. We got that announcement. So that is March 18th through the 20th.
This is so good.
And
All
most
of the
important,
links here.
there's
So
a
the
team
main,
event.
I know, the main event will be Classic Constructed. But as Logan pointed out, the best part is there is a team event. Team Blitz Beatdown is the name of it. So it's 3 people per team. Each team can play only one hero, so you'll have to use, you can't all show up as Bravo. And it's 6 Swiss rounds.
So I think we now have confirmation that LSS listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
A couple of things. One, we deserve some swag, maybe a preview card, a preview box. There's 3 of us.
James, anything I've ever said bad about your game, I was lying.
That's probably true because he started playing in 1778. He missed the Constitutional Convention because he was playing Flesh and Blood.
Right.
I also believe that James White should have a guest spot on our show at some point. But he can confirm to everybody that we are the impetus for some of these cooler changes. So
Yeah.
I think that's important. Yeah,
I agree.
I think we deserve that. I mean, it's the least he could do.
I completely agree. Yeah, I'm excited about the Team Blitz. this just feels natural for these events. I was kind of disappointed with, I think we talked about it briefly. I was disappointed with Philly's like offerings. It just felt like a collection of side events and like, I don't like low stakes stuff, but like this is a calling. It's a 20K. It's literally the biggest calling they've ever had. Like,
my biggest thing here is that there is a Magic Trios event going on, a 2-day main event over the course of this weekend, and the Flesh and Blood event is bigger. Like, it's worth more money.
Yeah, that's also crazy. Like, this is
the
going to be a Flesh and Blood tournament.
Yeah, it's just like it's almost like they're coming for Magic. Like they're trying to say, okay, Magic, sit down. We are now your paper game. And
here's what's bananas. There's not going to be coverage for this. Like,
right?
It's very unlikely that the first calling of 2022 has coverage.
I do know that we can pay Corbin Hosler to do it. So we may have to crowdsource funding. But,
that's interesting. That's something we can talk about. It's actually really interesting.
It's crazy that there's no coverage. It's a 20K. It's the largest non-nationals event. Were nationals even 20Ks? I don't even know.
I don't know what nationals were. Nationals price. So we just look this up in real time.
We get a 20K classic constructed calling with a battle hardened on Sunday. So basically, you're getting the best offering from Philly as like the Sunday afterthought for Indy, which is incredible.
Nationals was a 50K.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you're getting a battle hardened on Sunday. You get the first team event on Friday, and then you get a 20K calling on top of it. Like this is Flesh and Blood, like the 2022 version of the Flesh and Blood coming out party, which was Vegas in 21. And they're like, we're just running it back, and that's great. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if you mentioned this. I think this is the first big constructed Everfest event. Did you mention that? Did you mention? Okay, all right. I don't know if I blocked.
Yeah, it's well, there'll be some Pro Quest before that, but yeah, the first calling-ish event.
Yeah, first.
If you don't count Philly's Battle Hardened, but
that's true. Never mind. Like, because February 4th is Everfest, and like Everfest is Thursday. So, yeah.
So Jordan's either on Bravo or Ninja. Abby, who are you playing?
I'll play whoever.
All right,
it's like a goated answer. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Bring it my way.
It's like I'll be.
Put in my hands. I got it.
No,
like, give me Kano. I got this.
Yeah, whatever you guys don't play, I'll just pick one from that. Okay,
pool. Well, that's easy. I can build you anything.
Yeah, that's like having access to Logan is good for this, and we're close to being Logan card bucks, but not there yet. You get an exclusive Tales of Aria themed storage box given out for the first time in the USA if you participate in the calling, and a never before seen Arcanic Shockwave promo card.
No, it's funny. So, Jordan and I were talking about the team event, and I was like, "So, like, what are the details?" And he was like, "It's on Friday, and it's 3 people." And I was like, "Right, got that. I'm looking for a little more here. Like, is there a restriction on heroes? Like, can you only play 1? Can you only have, 3 copies of an individual card? Like, any sort of detail that's not like the basic that I already know." And he's like, "Nope, 3 people. It's on Friday." And I was like, "Thank you for that wonderful information. Appreciate the heads up."
Listen, man, we had to fire the research guy.
Hold on. When did we hire one?
That's what I'm talking about. See, we didn't want to tell you.
We fired them so that I could get a stylist.
Oh, that makes sense.
Nobody is getting.
I'm fine with firing this guy.
Nobody is
this random research fuck. You can.
Let me be clear. No one is getting a stylist.
Yet.
Come on. You think that these locks maintain themselves? You think? I mean, I need some Just for Men up in this beard too. Like, it's gray as fuck. So
yeah, you do the little brush that grays it out.
Yeah,
or browns it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll look 10 years younger. I'll look like I'm in my 30s again.
Okay.
All right. Next, Pro Tour details are out by the time you hear this. Those come out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
The 1st of February. Yeah, we're gonna just miss
it. So we will chat about it, I'm sure, in the Discord, and then we will talk about it next week.
Or we can do one of those. I can't believe that it's in that city. That's really cool for those people.
That city.
Yeah. If you live in that city, that's awesome.
I'm sure with their sports team not being involved in anything important, that people will be excited to have us in this city. Yeah, something along those lines.
I've never been to that city for Magic before, so I'm excited to go to.
Well,
That's not true. Yeah,
yeah, I'd say that's-
If it's Las Vegas, then it's definitely not true.
Yep.
Anyway, you'll know tomorrow when you listen to this. This will probably be out, so we'll give you the quick hit next week.
Yeah, we'll be good about it. We'll talk it over. We'll like a cup of tea.
A little cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Right. With our tea. So we're gonna move on to spoilers. We're gonna do it a little differently than last week because we have all of the cards now, and we certainly don't have time to go through that. So I will start with Logan. If you want to go over like 3 cards that you are either excited about or annoyed about, or
Well, maybe annoyed about. That's just normal. So I'm going to start with I think I'm going to be on this mad quest to get Azalea her first living legend point. That is my new goal.
Oh wow!
It's a tough hill to climb, but I'm here for it. So I've got Tri-Shot definitely in my view, which is a blue pitch 0 majestic. You may activate target bow you control 2 additional times this turn. Go again.
Okay.
And there's a bow called Death Dealer. So pitch blue, draw 3 cards, and fire arrows. Seems like it's a thing to do.
A little
And
built-in combo.
If you marry that, yeah, Bolton shots are great here. If you marry that with our good friend 3 of a kind, well, not everybody's good friend 3 of a kind. We definitely seen on camera how that doesn't work out. But
Digging White Slander is great.
I think that we have a possibility of building a janky Azalea deck that can possibly win some games. I have already built. I actually did it an hour ago. My first draft of this version. If you feel like seeing how just god awful this looks, you're more than welcome to join the Flesh and Pod Discord. I'll be posting it in our laboratory channel for everybody to make fun of me with. It is bad. That being said, let's go to an actual good card. 100 Wins. This is the key card to what we are calling the blow line of combo.
Oh my god.
Where you 100 wins as many times as possible, and then you Winds of Eternity behind it to shuffle all of your 100 wins back into your deck. The fact that this is just 0 for 3 go again on its own without doing anything is bananas, honestly. It's in all 3 pitches. You can just play all 3 pitches. 9 of these damn things. It feels a little like Ninja Ball Lightning. It replaces Head Jab immediately. Plays into a combo, because it just has combo attached to the same stats as Head Jab. And then also leads into a combo line that actually is anti-fatigue as well. It does a lot of just insane things that I think are super fun. And I think Katsu got a lot better with this entire set. Got toys to play with. Your Katsu mid-range, Katsu aggro are both back on the menu. And the funny thing is they're the same deck. They're you just have all the cards for each whenever you walk into the door of an event, and you just look at your matchup and go, okay, that's Kano, we're aggro. Okay, that's I'm gonna have bad examples here. That's Prism, we're mid range,
Sure.
And so that's interesting to me, and I think that this card, along with Winds of Eternity as the finisher, is a breathtaking example of good design within a class. This kind of effect open to all classes would be terrifying, but this being just kind of Ninja's thing is great. There's also this thing. So Runeblade. Have we talked about Runeblade before? I feel like we've talked about Runeblade before.
I think that class sees some play. Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Okay. So it was brought to my attention. I wasn't brought to my attention. I knew this, but it was it was reiterated to me very clearly that we haven't got anything banned out of Viscera yet. So we should probably try. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm just going to read the text of Swarming Gloomveil out loud.
Swarming Gloomveil?
Yeah. It's a 0 cost attack for 3, blocks for 3. Don't get me fucking started on that. If you have played or created one or more auras, Rune Chants are auras, this turn, Swarming Gloomveil gains Go again. Terrific. If you have played or created 2 or more, it gains +1. Okay.
Okay.
If you have played and or created 3 or more, it gains when this hits a hero, they can't prevent arcane damage from sources you control this turn.
Right.
Great. Lovely. Love that.
Fantastic.
So the loop from this is like make your 3 and then attack with this. Because so like if you use like this can't prevent your go off turn from being blocked, right? Like cuz like the 20 or so rune blades are going to happen before this attacks. But like still, man, like
your amount of rebuild with this card is scary.
Yep. The ability to do this and to make a bunch more into Rosetta Thornu, like
it's something as simple as so play this card or play a Mortar Tide, right?
Sure.
Pitch an Arknight Shard to make 4 Rune Chants. Play this behind it, you blow all 4 Rune Chants, but your Mordred Tide and your Viscerai trigger are going to create you 2 more. And you can actually start chaining again after that. And because everything has Go again already. So the lines that Swarming Gloomveil can play are going to take like immense galaxy brain calculus shit. But they're going to be incredibly frightening to deal with. Because if it's as simple as, okay, well, I've made my 18 Rune Chants last turn, Sonata into 2 of these, play something behind it to make a few Rune Chants, and then play this with Go again, and if you Sonata into more than one of these, it just gets dumber and dumber as you go, right? Because these are just 0 for 4 Go agains. And even in a pinch, like the worst case scenario with this card is it blocks for 3.
Yeah.
There's just no downsides.
Yeah, the bad turn of this card is like they block with 2 cards from their hand, but then like that's still pretty good for a card that has Go again and was free.
Yeah, if you're mind routing them and with hit and then can keep playing behind it. That's just horribly unfair in virtually every way.
This art is sweet. It reminds me of Final Fantasy.
I really hope, and I think we'll talk about carnival slots and stuff later, but I really think there is a foil full art of this card, and I want it.
That'd be so sick.
It's going to look so incredible, because this looks like a Final Fantasy summon.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, this looks like a Final Fantasy boss.
Yeah, and this sword is insanely large, and they just foiled the hell out of that sword. It looked great.
I can't see the artist on the FabDB page. Can you make that out? Because I want to see if they have prints for sale of this guy. It's like PHI, maybe.
I'm really bad at.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll do it later. This isn't great radio. Yeah.
I mean, the art is incredible though.
So. Yeah. You got any other ones?
Those were my 3.
Okay.
There's a bunch of Kano cards as well. Some of them I just love because of the art, to be honest. If anybody wants to see like what the coolest art that I think exists in this set, and I only love it because of its old school look, it is Timekeeper's Whim. It is.
Oh, that is
Salvador
very cool.
Dali shit.
That is cool.
It is whoever got the art direction for this card, I'm pretty sure it was drop 6 tabs of acid and start painting. And I love it. It's perfect. Like the card's fine, but the art is amazing. I just want a bunch of foils of this and put it in like some frame and just slap it on a wall somewhere.
It's called art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
That's awesome. Like yours gravitated around the heroes you gravitate towards, mine too will gravitate around my favorite heroes. The first one was one of the legendaries, Stalagmite Bastion of Isenloft. It's a offhand for Ice Guardian. Whenever you defend with it, create a Frostbite token under the attacking hero's control, and has temper. And you can like combine that with like auras that are coming out as well. Like Nerves of Steel is a Guardian aura that like Battle Worn and Temper out equipment you control doesn't trigger if the attack is 2 or less, which is like the ideal blocking scenario for like Stalagmite.
Yep.
Just like, oh my gosh. Also, when it comes in, you get to remove a counter from it. So like play your Nerves of Steel after you've blocked once with your Stalagmite. You've generated a rune. You've generated a Frostbite token. I don't know. I don't know if this is good enough to replace Rampart. Rampart. I don't know if it's good enough to replace like double like big hammer and like Bravo builds or whatever. I don't know, but I think it's kind of neat, and I think the Nerves of Steel like combination is really cool, and it's very easy to not ever take damage to keep Nerves of Steel alive.
Yeah, I think this is situational in a lot of sense. There are certain things with Ram's Head when a deck typically plays a bunch of things at one, like in a turn, but they do actions that break the combat chain because you can keep pumping Ram's Head over and over and over again.
Right.
If it keeps blocking. But this thing, I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't have Arcane Barrier on it. I mean, why not? Just keep stapling text to this fucking thing. But I think it's incredible. It's gorgeous to see the card.
It's gorgeous art.
And yeah, Guardian's very pushed right now.
Yes.
And I get a feeling supplemental sets are going to kind of be that way. And that's kind of their intent, is that one base hero gets, a glow up.
It's the shove, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Guardian right now, which didn't need it. But sure, this should have been the Brute set, let's be fair.
Yeah.
They got done dirty. So unless you like rolling dice, which, I mean, I'm into it.
Yeah, I love rolling them bones.
Yeah, well, a craps table is a fucking nightmare.
Oh my god, that's going to be on our After Dark episode one time as we tell the crap story.
Oh boy.
So yeah,
I think that, right? I thought that this was incredibly good. I think that this is a very, I think this is a very good card regardless.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to, maybe this is a more meta episode next week, but whether supplement, you know what, we're actually going to get into that with the Reddit thread of the week, so I'll save it. I'll save my what Everfest is or what should it be. My other card is along the Guardian vein is Grandor of Valahai. It's our Fable, and it's a Guardian resource gem because let's pretend that the other resource gems aren't Guardians.
Arknight Shard isn't.
It's true. That's the one. That is the one. But Grandor of Valahai is a blue stripe, so it pitches for 3. It has no cost because it's a resource gem. And it is when you pitch Grandor of Valahai, create a Seismic Surge token. So
reasons.
Just somehow better than I don't know if it's better, but it's great. It's it'll see play right alongside the other one. So
you probably do play this and Heart of Fyendal. Like,
I'm playing Eye of Ophidia right now in Stravo.
That's only because you own one.
That's
but it's I agree with, like, one thing, all your picks are fucking diamond hands, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the minute I read this, I'm like, oh, whatever, fine, sure, I guess. This is cute. I really hope that a Bravo player draws this in their heart in the same fucking hand. But it's yes, Guardians pushed. I've already said it. I'm done. I'm done commenting about that.
Yeah, this doesn't add anything other than like I think this card is cool. I think card availability will dictate whether this gets played a lot. Like it just probably won't because it is the Fable. But
I'll open 2. It'll be fine.
I hate you so much. I'll have to spend.
I know, right?
I'll have to send you money for it. So, my last one is a little departure. I know you wanted to talk about Wizard cards. Kraken's Aether Vein is a sick equipment for Wizard.
It's exactly cool.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or not is you'll have to play with it to
remains
understand.
To be seen. Yeah.
Yeah, the application, but on its face, it's exactly cool. The art's cool, the effects cool, drawing cards is cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
On the surface, its floor is it's just dope.
Right. It's very expensive for something that will run into an arcane barrier. Like inevitably, there's no way on earth your opponent is letting this particular instance of arcane damage go through. But that being said, I think it's really cool. And Steve Argyle did this art, so
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, did Icelander and did Icelander's Beat Stick. So yeah, it's beautiful. Like, it's really gorgeous.
And now, Steve, just update your online store so I can start buying all this stuff. That would be great.
He'll be at events.
He'll be at Indy probably. So
probably, yeah. I mean, that's the. I will DM him on Twitter and ask.
Yeah. He said they were to come on his store when I reached out to him. So I'm excited to see that. Those are my three. Was the 2 Guardian cards and then that cool Kraken's Aether Vein.
Yeah, Kraken's Aether Vein just makes me want to drink rum. So whatever.
that was our college rum of choice, was the Kraken, because the bottle was cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kraken's great.
Yeah, the bottle was neat for a bunch of young whippersnappers.
Idiot kids.
Of at least 21 years old.
That's bullshit.
21
Abby?
on the dot. Davis?
Not my name.
Got him.
I
You
am.
don't want me to call you, but you want my last name? I'm confused.
Oh, I did not expect this episode to be titled Marital Strife.
Yeah, episode 9, Marital Strife.
Fuck.
Let me update the title. God damn it.
So, I know we've talked about it before. I'm most excited for the new heroes. So Icelander and Valda.
Elda Bright.
That's what I'm mostly excited for.
Perfect D&D name.
It is a very good D&D name.
But what is, so that's 2. You owe us a 3rd.
You do owe us a 3rd.
You got to give the people what they want, Abby. It's how we.
You can't claim best co-host and then not do.
Oh, okay. Well, then my last one is, we talked about it last week. It's Knick Knack Brick-a-Back.
Really?
I love that name. I can't wait to go around just saying it randomly at events.
Oh my god, it's gonna be in every deck she plays.
Hey, do you got any knick-knack bric-a-bracks for trade? I'm sorry, what? Do you have any knick-knack bric-a-bracks for trade? I'm looking for exclusively knick-knack.
I do if you stop saying it.
Stop saying knick-knack bric-a-brac? It's like that. Hey, Farva, what's that place with all the goofy shit on the walls?
Shenanigans?
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, this is what we do now.
That's what my life has become.
So yeah, I'm not excited about Merchant. I think that the hero that got the second best glow up in the set is actually Shiana.
Oh,
because a lot of these specializations are incredible.
Yeah,
like Dadadal specialization does not make up for the fact that Dadadal has 3 intellect, but Shiana has 4.
It's 4 intellect.
So let's get going.
Do we love that the legendary hero is playable?
Well, I mean, playable is a stretch. But
right. And that's that, yeah. But
it's definitely sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet does not necessarily mean good. It means sweet.
That is a sweet transition. We could actually just flip these things in our outline. We could switch these things in our outline. It's fine because that's a really good transition.
The worst.
What?
Just let him roll with it, I guess.
Oh, we had a good.
All right, go ahead and switch it then.
Yeah, all right,
you're the host now. Good luck.
Captain Segway, get fucking
keep us
rolling.
keep us on track.
All right, Captain Segway. Oh, I don't. All right, fine. I feel like I made a faux pas.
Worst conductor ever.
We only had one listener question this week, and it was from Teague Like League in our Discord, and like what Evan said, it said, "Are you I play what I like even if it sucks, or I play what is on top of the meta right now kind of person, and why?" And that kind of relates to a Shiana. Just because it's fun doesn't mean it's good. But is that enough for you? Abby, let's start with you. Look at the natural hosting ability. Oh my god.
I mean, that was kind of good. I'm not.
Stop it.
I hate.
Oh, okay. You know what? If you guys don't need me anymore.
No, you are very needed.
by
Like
all
you are
means.
beyond needed. Otherwise, it's Jordan and I.
What's that
measuring
ESPN show where
off
they like
for an
fade
hour.
people like after they answer a question wrong? I don't watch
Yeah,
ESPN because I watch real
You're doing
sports
great.
media, but
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that's
pardon
so
my
good.
take or something. That's
Um,
that's our podcast.
Pardon the
Anyways,
interruption.
yeah. Oh, probably there you go.
so I don't think it's any secret that I am the least competitive out of everyone here. So for me, I play what I want. I'm not going to these big events planning to win it all. I'm going to play this game and have fun. So there is no, like, I will never play something that I don't want to play because it's the best deck. I'll play what I enjoy, and that's what it is.
Is that because you can't shuffle 60 cards?
Well, I won't play Classic Constructed because I can't shuffle 60 cards.
Okay.
So my dream for Abby is that she qualifies for a pro tour via like Blitz or draft, and then doesn't go because
I'll get disqualified.
it's CC, yeah. Or she goes and has to have a judge shuffle her deck the entire time.
Oh, that's the best play right there. Just
Yeah.
every round, judge, shuffle.
Judge, yeah, like the guy just follows you around now. He just like finds your table and he knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the dream. Logan, what about you?
This is actually a really hard question for me. I firmly believe that you're at your best when you're playing what you know. And that in a lot of ways is regardless if it's the best thing or not. The best players know everything, right? So they just play what's best. I don't have that kind of time. And in order to have the attention span to get the reps in, to learn something, there has to be a level of enjoyment for me. It's not necessarily that it has to be, I'm giggly over the best meme, but it does have to be, I want to play what I want, and sometimes it will suck. Like, sometimes you will run a deck you know very well into a bad meta, and sometimes even doing that, because of your familiarity with your deck and what's happening and how it works, you're still just going to pull out games that you normally wouldn't win. That's existed in every card game, and I think that's where your common player, your person that doesn't eat and breathe, live shit, whatever, the card game, that's where they can make their biggest mark, is when they just kind of accept something that is what they want to learn and be the best at it. And it's like fashion; it's cyclical. So eventually, the thing that is kind of bad that you like playing, that's good right now, that isn't good right now, will eventually circle around through reprinting or printings or whatever, bannings in the case of LSS. Sorry, James.
Or Radis.
Right. Well, whoops. Ooh, that guest spot.
There goes there goes our promo card.
Well, leave it to me. But the cycle happens, right? So, like, let's say you're a Viscerai player, and Viscerai wasn't the best. It did some cool stuff, had some OTK turns, but overall, it wasn't piling up giant numbers like Briar was or whatever. But you just stick to it, and you keep playing Viz, or Prism, or whatever, and eventually it's going to cycle back to the top. Now, the real memes like Levia, Azalea, sorry, it's not that. If it's Kano, congratulations, you have a galaxy brain, and you should probably be in Mensa. But that's kind of my take on it. I like to play decks that are good, but they have to be able to speak to me, and I have to be able to have the patience to learn them in order to be good with them. And I want to be good. I don't want to just flail around like a squid on land. Is that a thing? And
I think they die.
I think so too, and it's really heartbreaking.
They have
saw a
games.
squid on ice the other day.
You went
It
to a
was
hockey
gross.
game?
Nope.
Oh,
It was
It
like
was at the market.
like a literal squid on ice at the fish
It was
market.
disgusting.
It was a lot.
that's
Nope.
good eating.
It's a very
Mhm.
Western eater
Absolutely
and
not.
like consumer. It was startling.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So my take is that I think it's a little bit of both for me, but mostly it's I'm going to play what I enjoy and wait for it to be good again.
Yeah, I resonate with that a lot. I've been lucky in my time of playing games that I like decks that are very good. So maybe that's one answer to the question, is that that it's the best deck thing for me because I like I like that. But also like Fab is unique because a hero-centric game is different than like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, where you're not playing around this core concept of it's a 2-beer show, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, for you audio listeners.
Sometimes you gotta.
Sure. Sometimes somebody mentions Yu-Gi-Oh! You gotta dive into a second one.
Oh, Mr. talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I gotta dive into harder shit usually, but
That's fair. Yeah, so I've been lucky that like in Magic, I liked what was good. In L5R, Dragon was good from when we started playing the game until we stopped playing the game. I never really had to think like, oh, am I gonna like shift off of this faction? And then there's enough diversity in Fab that I like multiple styles. I like Bravo. I like Ninja. I like Briar. I liked Briar. I like what Kano does in concept. So I don't know. I think it is harder, like you said, for the average player who makes the conscious choice to not invest all of their time into this, to just focus on one or 2 or 3 champions and like ride those out thick or thin. Between like the champion pool that I have, I'm much like I'll take the one that's best. You know, like if
sure,
yeah, which I don't think we disagree on.
No,
I think we would agree on that. Yeah. But I don't know. I like if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I'd have said I'd play the best deck no matter what and whatever. But now that I don't, and not because like I like spend your time how you want. I just don't spend my time that way in terms of like focusing on building the skill, whatever. I don't disparage anybody that does, but like that's just not what I focus my time on, right? So, yeah. Like again, 10 years ago, man, like whatever it is, I'm gonna go trade for the cards or borrow the cards, and I'm gonna play that deck this weekend. I think now it's just like you said, life's too short to do stuff you don't love doing, you know.
Yeah, and one of our car conversations that we had this week was game comparison, right? Because we all come from somewhere,
right?
And the way that Flesh and Blood operates on its axis and how it works in a lot of ways outside of worshiping RNGesus to limit your variance. It's less poker, more chess, right? Then because the way to describe like card games in the past has always been it's a combination of poker and chess. But I think we hit a different analogy while we were talking, which turned into Flesh and Blood is blackjack. You're playing your percentages until it's time to swing. And then you're doing your bigger thing. In blackjack, it's knowing when to double down, knowing when to split and go ham on the other half of it, or whatever. Normally it's counting cards, you got run out of a casino, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But pitch stacking is part of that too, where you're just tracking. Your brain is constantly tracking what's going on in that sequence and that cycle. And the amount of diversity is sometimes, you go for your big swing, you double down, or in this case, you come in for 14 dominated. And you bust because they have red unmovable in their arsenal, a 2-block equipment, and another card to block with, and your turn's dead. Like that big thing you're trying to do, you just bust.
Right.
So it felt like in the terms of that analogy, where variance plays a role, the role it plays is much more similar to that than it is to either chess or poker. So I think that's the middle ground for this game. And so the best thing you can do if you want to be competitive is to play percentage and then know when the pivot turn is. Know when that point in the game is that it's going to swing one way or the other, and make sure you're in an advantage spot. Or don't care about that and just try to blow your opponent off the table immediately. That's also a strategy.
No, I definitely agree. I think that, and the fact that people get to do that within the confines of whatever deck they like or heroes pool that they like is different. And how that, like you said, for each champion it's different. Sans, Reinar, they all share the similar theme about them, and I think that's really cool. That doesn't happen with a lot of other games. So
that I can think of. I mean, well, outside of the WoW TCG, but it did not last long.
Yeah, I didn't play that one. That's one I didn't dabble in. But Is that Ab? You want your captainship back?
Are you done with it?
I mean, yeah.
She has the C on her jersey, sir.
She
so
does have the
That's
C
right.
on her jersey.
Exactly. All right. So our Reddit thread of the week is from Tamumu. Tamumu. Don't like that. So they are a new person to the game, and they read that Everfest only has 10 cards per pack, which is the same as Crucible, but not the same as the other
Core
sets.
Yeah, core sets.
Thank you. So their question is, why is the cost the same if we're getting less product per pack, box, case, and so on?
So this thread was really interesting because this person's complaint is very valid, and feeling this way is completely normal if you don't understand like the life cycle of like games, and in particular new ones. And I picked this thread in particular because a lot of the comments were like the top rated thing was, well, you don't draft this set, so that's why you get less cards, and you don't, the cards don't matter, they're just chafe anyway. The 5 cards you get, you're gonna put them in a box and never play them anyway. And I thought that was just some of the worst shit I've ever read in my life to say to someone. Like, there are valid reasons why this set should cost the same as like another set, but you get less stuff and you don't get to draft it are not them, you know? And like people on Reddit were saying that, and I commented on there, you know, and I got downvoted a lot, which like I don't know what that happens, but
you think you care, but you don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I think I give a shit, but then I realize that like it's internet points and I don't know, whatever. But right. But like I think when someone says you get less chafe, well, this is a new player. There is no chafe, right? That doesn't exist necessarily. And then you don't get to draft it. That's a loss of functionality. So this pack, these 3 packs I'm going to buy cost the same. I get less and I can do less with them. So my point in bringing this up is that I think when we have these conversations, we need to better talk about like what that, like we need to better explain parts of this game to new people online in particular, but in our local stores as well, because Everfest is going to be the front and center product in your local game store. It's the front and center product on Star City. It's the front and center on TCG Player and Channel Fireball, right? Mm-hmm. Your local game store is going to have this display set up, you know? So it was frustrating to me to read people say these things of, oh, your concerns aren't valid because you get more, the cards you get are better and you don't draft, so you don't need those cards anyway. And the truth, the kernel of truth is in that. It's just poorly presented and not very persuasive. And I think if you wanted to say what the good thing is hey, actually the Majestics and Rares are going to be much higher. So the quality of card you're going to get a lot higher. It doesn't do a lot for a guy that doesn't have enough cards to make a deck, but at least that's there. And then also, hey, new guy, this set really isn't probably the best starting place. Let's go to Tales of Aria. And once you kind of get like this good base in, maybe then you'll see why like getting access to these support cards is really good. I think stuff like, you know, like value of the set in the long run and it being supplemental is not a good argument to new players at all. So I was curious what you guys thought about that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that there's anything you said that I can dissect or tear apart at all. It's the cost reason is exactly what you said. It's a higher disbursement of rares and majestics, and because of that, it's and also that they added new treatments in this set with putting more full art cards in. Boxes on average that I'm seeing are 2 cold foils in a box.
It's really good.
So yeah, which is really great. However, you're not going to get the hero token you need to build a deck. You're not going to get the support cards you need to build a deck. It's not made for a new person jumping into the game. And so when a new person is staring at 2 packs, there's this new shiny first edition pack that if you are even remotely value oriented, makes more sense to buy because it will hold value more than this unlimited Tales of Aria pack. And they're the same cost. But if you want to play the game, the Tales of Aria pack makes way more sense. I totally agree with that. It's almost like by having these supplemental sets without having a new base set really close to them, you're missing opportunities to onboard new players.
Yep, 100%.
There's a lot there, right? And I don't criticize LSS for that. My opinion is not grounded and not rooted in the economic decision of it. It's a company that is newer. It's doing a newer thing. And so they may not have the financial runway to just go print a set, back to back or very quickly in quick succession without having the financial return from the first, some of the financial return from the first set.
Sure.
That makes sense. And I get it. But I do think that there are some instances of planning that they could do better. I was speaking with, when I was in one of the events, one of my opponents started playing Flesh and Blood on the first day it was available in North America.
Oh, wow.
Outside of the financial gain he's experienced, which is significant.
Yeah.
He's been very disappointed. And the reason he's been disappointed is that everything seems to scale in a very aggressive way. And his complaint with Tales of Aria is it got boring too fast. And I kind of stopped and thought, and I'm like, okay, because I was trying to engage him in a very inquisical way because I had not heard this and I wanted to get into it. And with this gentleman, his opinion was rooted in the fact that every set, there's a deteriorating experience to him. Like WTR Draft is insanely fun. It is the best limited experience that exists in Flesh and Blood. It's pretty much spot on. The balance is very good.
It's very fun.
Then you go to Arcane Rising, and it's very goofy. It's very splashy. And not the fun level kind of deteriorates because there's a lot more big, bombastic cards. You go into Monarch, and it's draft, prism, or lose. You go into Tales, it's a 3-hero set, which is really awkward for divisible by 2 draft pods, right?
Right.
And I think that the answer and I pitched this because I was wondering, would this make a difference? Would it make a difference if, like, say, Everfest had come out before Tales of Aria? It kind of looked at me oddly, and I'm like, well, think about it. Part of the staleness of Tales of Aria is that you put it right in front of the most competitive season Flesh and Blood has ever seen. So the Hive Mind was the most active it could possibly be. And we saw it happen. We saw Briar just overtake. And even though we know that there are ways to beat Briar, it didn't make sense to just not play Briar. If you take and swap that, you put Everfest in front and Tales after Everfest, just is suddenly like, is it suddenly better? Do you suddenly not have that kind of thing where, because you have support for everything, you have a wider expanse of things not growing stale, so when Tales comes around, you have a more robust limited season, and maybe that even it helps you with your design space and design time. It was really an interesting conversation. And at the end of it, I think that he largely agreed with that. I think that the timing of these sets could be better. Understand when your spikier season is coming, when your very competitive season is coming, and slap the supplemental set in front of it. I know you want to draft new things in these. I get it. So my thought is 2 ways. Put a supplemental in front, and maybe put a base set close to when you're closer to when you're releasing the supplemental, so it's not completely stale. And then have a base set that comes after it, so that after that very competitive season happens, and people are, there's hype for the game. People are watching on Twitch. People are watching coverage of these events. And they want to get in. They want to jump in at that point. There's a new shiny base set that has the stuff they need to build decks. That seems like it's more organic to me.
That's one thing that Magic did very well in the 4-4 times. What's that?
For a while.
Yeah, right. With Pro Tour season lined up, the Pro Tour was the first event that new sets were legal The first big competitive event. There weren't SCG Opens, there weren't Grand Prix. The Pro Tour was the first big competitive event that had the new set, and then so it was a big advertisement. Like the joke was the Pro Tour didn't stand for professional; it stood for promotional, and it's because they drafted it, they built their decks around it, and then you got to go. Well, I need to go buy fucking Khans of Tarkir because this guy's just built some sick decks with it, and I want to do that. And, actually, Khans of Tarkir was too late for the time cycle I'm thinking of, but neither here nor there. But that was a really good time. So I think the argument this isn't for new people is wild to me, because again, like one of the things we haven't even talked about is that games need casual players to exist. The reason
Absolutely.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering have existed for 20 plus years has nothing to do with the competitive player base. We see now more than ever that as long as casual people will buy and rip some booster packs, they can sell competitive players down the river. They don't need you and me or anybody that even listens to this podcast. Like, if you listen to a podcast about a game, you are too high in the percentage of competitive play. Like you might think,
hold on. We love you.
That's right. Keep listening.
Please keep listening.
Yeah. I'm just saying you're not as casual on the ladder as you think you are if you listen to a podcast about a game. Like,
we're two drunk idiots talking about the game, and we have Abby as the perfect referee.
Exactly.
We're not talking about this competitively.
No, for sure. I don't mean to paint us as like the competitive Flesh and Blood podcast. I don't think anybody would.
Like, I know if I get out of line,
us.
Abby will stab me.
I don't think anybody
won't
confuses us with that. Yeah. But like,
I also appreciate that about you, Abby. So,
It is my best quality.
it's one in a long list.
Jesus. So like casual players buy packs, and that keeps games afloat. Like appealing to the casual masses is what has kept Magic alive for so long. It's what kept Pokemon alive so long. Like the cult phenomenons of Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Magic lie on the backs of casual players. Players far more casual that have never listened to a Pokemon podcast or watched a Pokemon tournament or downloaded a Pokemon online client or anything with Yu-Gi-Oh, or they don't own an MTG Arena account, right? So I think saying, hey, these products aren't for them and they shouldn't be buying them, and if they think these are bad value, that's just because they don't understand it. Like, yikes, that's how games die. And I've played a lot of dead card games, and like, there are binders in my house full of thousands of dollars at the time of dead card games that only appealed to casual, or only appealed to competitive players, and those games are dead now because they didn't think, well, what about the average guy that just wants to buy a pack of cards for his kids because he likes the pictures? And that's
that is Jordan's specialty.
Buying dying card games.
Yep, 1,000%.
The fact that I am, what's that?
Can you quit this one?
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. The fact that I'm in this means you should sell your shit to anybody, because it's going to decrease in value because I killed this game. I've been in this game since Moses got the tablets from whatever deity. Yeah. So I picked this Reddit thread because it made me mad. It made me mad enough to comment on Reddit. So like, not the OP. The OP asked a legitimate question. But like the way we talk about the game and the way we foster communities, and like even the people that won't ever join the community, those are the people that need to be buying the packs. Like, you need some kid for me it was Kmart growing up. I guess now it's like Target.
Oh, whoa, old man.
Yeah, old man alert. There are less than 12 alive now.
Yeah, well, the one in Des Moines just closed like less than a year ago, I think.
Oh my gosh, wow. So that's my old man alert. For me it was Kmart. For your kids, like the kids today, it'll be Target, right?
Or the Piggly Wiggly, whatever.
Oh, Piggly Wiggly.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my god.
Am I too city to understand this?
I don't.
Yes, it's a Wisconsin thing mostly.
Gotcha. Okay, but yeah, so like you need your kid at Target to go, ooh, can I have that, like, I don't know, whatever, like 6 collection of 6 booster packs of Flesh and Blood. That's the only way these games live. And to have on the front there, this is not for players, or not for new players or casual players, that's fucking stupid. So we need a way to foster how we talk about products to new people and how we like incentivize them to buy in and like grow the game from both a show up to your local armory event night and also not, from people that will never do that. So
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I knew that this pack had less cards in it, and never once was I like, why are they charging me the same amount? Like, never would have even crossed my mind. I just been like, all right, whatever it is, just here's your money, give me the packs. Like, I don't.
Are you
I would have
thinking that
never
now?
questioned it.
Are you questioning
What?
it now?
No.
Well,
Listen, I would pay hundreds of dollars just to crack boosties all day. I don't care how many cards are in it.
Okay. Well, we know what the Sunday podcast, where our next recording is. I guess we're just gonna be snapping open Everfest boosties
That's right.
like over and over and over again. I guess I have a case of Monarch back here too. If we just want to get
Oh my
into
god.
it,
Yeah.
but it's a yeah. We're a weird clientele. The three of us are an odd clientele for our card game in general. Largely because we've been burned before, and
Yep.
we will still reach for the pan on the stove without looking to see if it's this hot
Oh yeah.
surface.
Oh yeah.
And if we get burned again, it'll be it is another scar alongside the other ones. Who cares?
Yep. Absolutely.
There are binders of the first 6 sets of the Star Wars CCG
there you go.
sitting next to me.
There you go.
It is. I have also. I mean, I haven't cursed it as hard as you have as far as dead card games go, but I know the feeling. But if there's something I like, if there's something I enjoy, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I paid, okay, like I've paid, I'm just spitballing, like maybe $1,500 into Flesh and Blood, right? I just bought a Heart of Fyendal, so I'm probably a little
I
bit more
wish
than
mine
that
was
now.
cheaper than $1,500.
And well, run hot, it's easy, but it's like I've done that, and I feel like I've already gotten that money out of it. I feel like I've already had enough fun with this game. Some of it's doing this podcast. Some of it's just the 2 callings I've been to. Some of it's that I've just made new friends in this game already.
Right.
That are just great people that I love talking to and I love spending time with. I feel like my investment is already returned, right? The monetary recompense is no longer part of the equation. But I also understand that that's not how everybody approaches things. They don't knowingly approach it that way. They don't look at it as a look what you're getting out of it. Like you're going to a movie, you spend $20 to go to a movie that's 2.5 hours long. You spend $20 for 2.5 hours, and if you're happy, great. That $20 is well spent. I've gotten 1,000 hours out of enjoyment out of this game. And if I spent $1,500, that's $1.50 an hour. Like,
Yeah.
Great. That's insane EV. And that's without ever getting any money out of these cards again. Like, but they just can sit here and collect dust, and I'll have the memories to go with them. And a lot of people don't understand why they do things. They never stop and consider it. And this is one of the things that has been discovered specifically in Magic, is that it was never specifically about the game. It was about the people you played the game with. It's about the moments that were created. It's about Jordan Kennedy not knowing the text of Notion Thief, and that's why we're friends.
That's true.
It's stuff like that. It's those little connections that turn into long-term relationships that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for that thing. Magic could die tomorrow. My collection could go to 0. And the best friends I have in my life came because I played that game. So look for the value outside of the dollar sign, and you will find the happiness in doing these things.
Oh,
That might be the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
I asked you to marry me. I asked you to marry me once.
Okay,
that was a soccer game, wasn't it?
It was at a soccer bar.
It was at a bar.
It was a soccer bar. Yeah. before it was the day before a big soccer game, and some asshole won up me and did it on the day of the soccer game.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did propose to my wife by having the Cards Against Humanity guys make me custom cards.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, they're nice dudes. They just do anything.
Pretty sure my proposal video is on YouTube, actually.
I think it is.
Mine is too. So is the video of me cutting the cake with a chainsaw at our wedding reception. So,
Jesus.
Fascinating.
What? It sounded like the right thing to do.
Sounded
the
like
worst
the right
part is
thing
when
to do.
I came down a little too hard on the second cut, and I caught the plate that the cake was on, and it went directly into my ball sack. And that hurt so bad. It's on video. It's on YouTube. Please don't look it up. God damn it. People are going to look it up.
Everybody look it up. Everybody go right now.
Our engagement video is on here. Christmas Eve miracle. Jordan and Abby get engaged.
Yep.
It is a miracle that somebody decided to put up with Jordan.
Guys, I'm going to link that in the show notes. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
This fucking guy.
CB proposed to my wife. I look so much younger.
And still the sweetest thing she ever heard is what I just said.
What'd you say?
Well, to be fair, the most exciting day of Jordan's life was the Brian Kibler story. So let's just everybody keep that in mind. It's not just me.
Teasing the people.
For the after dark on that one.
Yeah, hey, if we do a Fappers meetup in Indianapolis, I will tell anyone that's there. If you come up to me and say I'm a story. I do not want to record the story. Nope. Your chance. Yeah. If you come up to me though and say I'm a Fapper, I will punch you in the face.
Then tell you that story.
I will punch you. If you come up to my wife and say I'm a Fapper.
Okay, well, sure.
Don't come up to my wife and say I'm a Fapper. I don't know how you're supposed to identify yourself, but not that way.
You're really territorial for somebody that would just, if she's offended, clock them in the dome.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
To
be fair, if you come say that to me, I would be the one to hit you.
So. I'm virtually a pacifist.
So. she named her hands Titan Fist and Winter's Whale. Like, you're gonna get it.
That's really good. That's really good.
All right. So the giveaway, we're still doing it. We're still giving away the People's Deck Box.
People's Deck Box.
It's happening. It's happening next week. So it will be released. The winner will be released on the February 8th show. As a reminder, if you win, you will take this box. So just keep that in mind. I do
want to mention that in our show notes, it does say we'll announce the next person to not accept the deck box on February 8th.
It does. If you join our Discord or if you're already in it, you're going to go to the announcement section. Last week I said it was the giveaway section, which is a lie. So my bad on that. It's in the announcement section. You will party react to the pinned post, and that will enter you. So everybody, please go do that. And whoever wins, be very excited that you're going to take this deck box.
Please, God.
We'll sign it.
Listen, that's
whoever
right.
gets it gone. If I have to sign it to get it gone, if I have to not sign it to get it gone, get this fucking box out of my house.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to happen. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FleshPod. You can join our Discord. The link will be in the show notes. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple. You can like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. You can like and subscribe on YouTube. If you don't use any of that, you can email us at fleshandpod@gmail.com. I don't know if anyone's done that yet, but It is an option. You can find me on Twitter at AbbyD83. I did get a 2 on my Wordle today, so I'm basically goated.
Wow.
That was a 3. Fuck.
That's really all I do on there. I'm trying to get better, so that was the step 1, was tweeting that. Jordan, what's your Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at I'm Jerman. I am JORMAN. Tweeting Wordle scores, sports, politics, Flesh and Blood. Talked a lot of Flesh and Blood on Twitter this past week. So I would like to keep it going. Anything to distract me from the sports hell that I'm currently living in. Logan.
Oh, okay. I'm at Logan Peterson, PETRSEN. Yeah, Twitter has been phenomenal this week for Flesh and Blood.
It was very fun.
We ended up talking, just chatting up a couple of random people, and there were some follows, and there were some really good conversations, and yeah, it was phenomenal. I was enjoying it. So if anybody feels like they need to at me about anything that can include my propensity to consume alcohol while on a podcast, or how I can speak poetically enough to make Abby forget that she was proposed to, you're more than welcome to engage with me, and I will very likely engage back. If I clap too hard, don't take it personally. Sometimes I just hit the enter button when I shouldn't.
If I clap too hard.
What?
No, this is funny. I'm just laughing.
All right. Well, that is it for this week. We will talk to you next week. Bye.
Cheers.